Welcome back to the Vue 3 Beginner tutorial series. In the previous episode, we learned how Vue templates display data using interpolation and data binding. However, all of our examples used static values. Real applications need data that can change over time. In this episode, we're going to learn how Vue handles changing data using its reactive state system and the ref function. By the end of this video, you'll understand what reactive state is, how ref works, and why it is one of the most important concepts in Vue. Before we talk about reactivity, we first need to understand the concept of state. State simply means data used by your application. For example, a username, a counter value, a login status, or a list of products. Applications constantly display and update this information. The question is, how does Vue know when this data changes? That's where reactive state comes in. Let's start with a normal JavaScript variable. Vue can display this value inside the template without any problem. Right now, the value is 0, and that's exactly what we see on the screen. But what happens if the value changes later? To demonstrate this, I'll add a timeout that updates the count variable after 2 seconds. As you can see in the console, the variable was successfully changed from 0 to 3. However, the value displayed in the template is still 0. The reason is that Vue does not automatically track ordinary JavaScript variables. When count changes, Vue has no way of knowing that the UI should be updated. To solve this problem, Vue provides reactive references using ref. To create reactive state, we first import the ref function from Vue. Then we wrap a value inside ref. Vue now tracks this value internally. Whenever it changes, Vue automatically updates every part of the template that depends on it. As you can see, the value now updates automatically after 2 seconds. This looks very similar to a normal variable. The difference is that Vue is now actively tracking the value. This is what we call reactive state. However, there's one important detail to understand. The variable itself doesn't directly hold the number. Instead, ref returns a special object, and the actual value is stored inside it. Let's see how that works. A ref object stores its actual value inside a property called value. When working inside JavaScript, we access or modify the value using .value. But you may have noticed something interesting. In the template, we've been using count directly, not count.value. So why does that work? Fortunately, Vue makes templates easier to work with. Inside templates, Vue automatically unwraps refs for us. That means we can write count directly instead of count.value. So far, we've only been working with a number, but refs are not limited to numbers. They can store strings, booleans, arrays, objects, and many other types of values. Any value wrapped with ref becomes reactive. A component can contain as many reactive variables as needed. Vue tracks each one independently and updates the UI whenever their values change. Reactivity is one of the core ideas behind Vue. Instead of manually updating the DOM ourselves, we update the data. Vue then takes care of updating the user interface. This approach makes applications easier to build and maintain. In this episode, we learned what state is, how to create reactive state using ref, how the value property works, and how Vue automatically unwraps refs inside templates. Understanding reactivity is essential because it powers almost everything we build in Vue. In the next episode, we'll learn how to respond to user interactions using Vue event handling. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.